Sup tubes, it's your boy JBlaze06 here giving you another exciting review on the Black Goonie channel. It's been a little while, but I'm here to give you my detailed, in-depth review of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now, Call of Duty last year was kind of synonymous with the laughingstock of the generation with its sad release Call of Duty Ghosts. People lamented it for having lackluster storytelling, strange weapon balancing, and just not really being that impressive of a game. Now, I assume Infinity Ward had the best intentions with this game, but they weren't able to live up to gamers' expectations. Now, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, with its 3-year development cycle, has the opportunity to bring back that faith that people have lost in the Call of Duty franchise. So, were they successful in doing so? Let's find out. Black Goonie. Let's talk about presentation. There are very few games that match the visual quality in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Cutscene models are especially impressive, with lifelike performances from both Troy Baker, surprise surprise, and Kevin Spacey. In-game models are also highly detailed, with excellent motion capture based animations. Although there is a noticeable difference between the two, it isn't necessarily indicative of a large compromise. The overall aesthetics and art direction are breathtaking. The user interface is well designed and non-obtrusive, especially in single player. Since this game takes place in the future, most of the information is displayed as an integrated HUD, or heads-up display, on several of your devices. Your gun will display how many rounds are left in the gun, and for several weapons, reloading is in relation to a battery, rather than actual bullets. Grenades also display information about which one you're selecting. It's all really well integrated and makes you feel like you're handling sophisticated equipment. If you've played a Call of Duty game in the last few years, you'll know that sound is really important to Call of Duty. Part of the reason weapons and equipment feel so tactile and punchy is due to the superb sound design. Music is beautifully orchestrated and goes well with the action on screen. Overall, the presentation for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is spectacular. You can tell that they spent a lot of resources on the details. Voice acting is also top-notch, with performances from high-profile actors like the previously mentioned Troy Baker and Kevin Spacey, and a huge cast of other voice actors who do a wonderful job making the characters feel interesting and distinct.
If he is, we need to know the where and the how.
Let's talk about the gameplay. The blessing and curse of being a Call of Duty title is the simple fact that it will feel extremely familiar to people who have played previous Call of Duty games. This means that accessibility will be relatively high, as most people who have played a game within the last 6 years have likely been exposed to a Call of Duty title. The controls are pretty much exactly the same as every other Call of Duty title, and while this means it's incredibly easy to pick up and play, for some it may come off as just a copy and paste of previous games. There are a few additions to the controls that will undoubtedly make it a fresher experience for most players. Your character now has the ability to use exo movement, which is an accelerated form of double jumping, side strafing, and in some cases, exo abilities. These exo abilities and movements make this game feel different in that your ability to traverse throughout environments is much different than the other games. You legitimately feel like a super soldier, even coming down to how you now melee enemies. In single player, you have several gadgets and scenes that often catch you off guard, such as electromagnetic gloves that allow you to scale metallic buildings or vehicles, a grappling hook that lets you either traverse or grab onto enemies, and even some interesting driving scenes. The single player experience is incredibly well done, but we all know that most people buy Call of Duty games because of the multiplayer. Multiplayer is incredible, but not necessarily perfect. I've been playing on the PS4 version, and while it's been a relatively exciting experience, there have been a few setbacks that really have me scratching my head. Let's first discuss the positives. The multiplayer action is faster than ever thanks to the exo movement and abilities, and the game really tests your ability to outthink and outmaneuver your opponents. The guns pretty much all handle differently, and each have a distinct iron sight and weapon handling. Some weapons have recoil patterns that sway from left to right, while others may have recoil that moves more vertical. It's incredibly fun to experiment with different weapons and attachments to find what suits you the best. This game handles exo abilities for multiplayer by allowing players to set up an exo ability for one of your 13 class items. In terms of game modes, there are two that are absent from previous versions of the game: Headquarters and Demolition. I'm not entirely sure why those two game modes are absent, but what is here is quite a bit of fun. The one game mode I found to be fairly hit or miss is Domination. The spawn points can get a bit absurd, but that is to be expected for a Call of Duty title. In terms of negatives, the game has been experiencing persistent lag to the point where characters either skip around or you appear on your enemy's screen much before they're even present on your own. There are also times in which you unload half or sometimes a full clip into an opponent, and they seemingly kill you with just a few shots. I know these have been issues other users on other gaming platforms have complained about, but it's upsetting that even after this many years, it's still an issue. Another thing that baffles me is why your party members aren't highlighted on your screen so that you can better coordinate with them and know where they are without looking at the minimap. All players show up with a blue name over their heads, rather than delineating between party members, gold, and the rest of your team, blue. It baffles me, but it doesn't completely deter me from enjoying the game. Another thing was the notification that shows up telling you your voice chat is prioritizing itself to a party. It obstructs your view of what you're looking at, making it difficult to set up your classes. The last negative is in relation to the map segmentation. I obtained the collector's edition of Advanced Warfare, and in doing so, unlocked a special map that was exclusive to this edition of the game. While some may view this as a positive, it also means that anyone on my friends list who does not have the collector's edition of the game cannot play it with me, which conversely means I never get to really play it. Sectioning multiplayer weapons or maps to pay DLC is always a bad idea, and further segments the gaming community. Now let's talk about story. In addition to amazing production values and addictive, high-octane action, we also have a fairly compelling story. It won't be winning any awards for its storytelling, but Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, or CODAW, does an adequate job at explaining what's going on and giving you incentive to at least be invested in the experience. At times, the story gets a little cliche, but there were several moments I exclaimed, "F yeah!" during my explosive journey. There were two moments that occurred during the campaign that really had me at a loss for words for two separate reasons. One I can talk about since it happens fairly early on in the game. The main character, voiced and motion captured by Troy Baker, is stuck in a situation where he's trying to save his best friend Will from an explosion. In the midst of all the chaos, you find yourself flung from a flying vehicle with dust, fire, and debris flying at you. You momentarily lose consciousness. As you awake, you see your commanding officer look you in the eye and tell you that he's bringing you home. As he drags you away, you notice a blood trail and your arm that remains on the battlefield. The execution of this scene was brilliant, and it left an impression on me for days to come. Conversely, there is something that happens at the end of the game that just doesn't make any sense. Obviously, it's difficult to mention without spoiling anything, but the main villain of the tale has several opportunities to dispatch of his opposition, but then apparently grows a heart each situation after ironically killing thousands of people. I know for the sake of the plot, he couldn't just kill everyone off right then and there, but the method of which the main characters cheat death really should have made more sense. It tarnished an otherwise epic campaign and left me scratching my head for how this could have gotten past the writer's brainstorming room. Let's talk about the lasting appeal. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is great value for the money. With a solid single-player experience, with intel collectibles, the Exo Survivor mode similar to Modern Warfare 3, and the stellar, if not laggy, multiplayer which adds an addictive layer of experimentation and strategy, it's hard not to recommend this title, especially to those who more or less enjoy first-person shooters. Obviously, some will be put off by the fact that there's a Call of Duty title every year, but this is the first that had a 3-year development cycle, and it shows. Bottom line is must buy. Here are the reasons why. The good, stellar production values from visuals to voice acting. The main show, multiplayer, is just as addicting as ever, and is fast, frantic, and fun combat. The bad, online multiplayer still experiences several bugs and lag. segmented community due to multiplayer maps being paid DLC, and the story mode suffers from just outright bad writing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video review of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I spent a lot of time putting this together and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, press the like button and subscribe to stay tuned to everything else going on the channel. If you have your own thoughts, please leave them down below in the comment section. That's what it's for. You can do that kind of thing down there. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next review. Game on. G-Blaze out. Oh yeah, by the way, so Black Woody merchandise is a thing. You guys probably missed the opportunity to get this shirt. This is a limited edition shirt, so those of you who do have it, rest assured that no one else is going to be walking around with the shirt unless they obviously got it secondhand from someone. Also, the Black Oni mug is now available for purchase through Zazzle. It is quite snazzy. I like it. I enjoy drinking my tea out of it. I also drink coffee, but mostly tea because I'm a tea man. So make sure you check out the link in the description down below to check that out. And thank you guys for watching and supporting the Black Oni channel.